Good Sunday morning, friends and neighbors. Old Doc here. We're back on, I believe this is part 3 of the finalizing on this variable drive sheave for the 440 Bobcat. We got Cowboy Bob playing Sunday Morning Gold. And I did some things yesterday and didn't record it. If you remember in the last video, I had this sleeve that has to go down inside here. This goes onto the crankshaft down there, slides onto the crankshaft, and it was 1 inch too long because it hit, let me turn this over, and then it's going to be darker than the inside of a cow. So let me grab the corded drop light. It hit inside of there. Whoop, there you go. There's a good picture of the inside with the 3 roll pins that are oversized because the holes were wallered out. If you remember in the last video, I drilled them out 3/8 of an inch, drove in 3/8 roll pins, and so that nut you see back there is the back side of the hydraulic cylinder, if you will, that pulls the sheave in closed and opens like a snowmobile clutch. And but anyway, this dude right here was 1 inch too long and it was hitting in there, so we had to cut 1 inch off, which is fine because it's still a little bit longer than our crankshaft. And this, actually I want that turned the other way. So it goes like that. We got maybe a quarter, eighth, I guess, 3/16 before the end of our crankshaft, which really doesn't make any difference, but that goes on here. Let me take this set screw out for the time being, and if I drop it and lose it, I guess that's okay because I do have a box of them. So that goes on the crankshaft. Damn it. I need to clean that up too. Hang on a minute. What's in the... There we go. Now let me pick you back up. So, okay, that goes on the crank shaft. That one slides over, and then the drive sheave goes over that with set screws. Set screws are the only thing that hold this to the drive sheave. Yeah. So that's the way she's going to go. Matthew and I set the engine in here yesterday, and we're just trial fitting everything. And on this side, you can barely see right here the billet extension, well, I may have, this bolts onto that. This piece here bolts on, and then this drives our hydraulic pump. I may have to cut 3/4 to 1 inch off the end of this also, so we have enough spacing in between there for the other half of our Lovejoy coupler. We're just setting everything up right now. The main thing is get the drive sheaves all lined up, and then we'll know what our spacing is here. And the engine isn't bolted down yet. We want to get everything lined up and then locate our mounting holes down there. So that's where we're at right now. Means we cut 1 inch off of this. You can see I scribed and pre-drilled the small hole. This had 2 set screws in it, and I want to put 2 back in there, so I need to drill that out and tap it. This was hard cutting. I put it in the chop saw. It was hard cutting, but it was easy to drill. So that hole there looks oblong. I don't know why. The set screw fits in there, screws in it yet, but whatever. So I'm gonna finish drilling this out and tapping it. I think I should have a number 7 drill bit, which I don't have. But we'll get to that here later. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. And we're kind of at a standstill till I get that drilled, and tapped. But we will, and I did go up to Baumgart's yesterday, and I got some more set screws, because the ones that I ordered off the internet, I got metric and SAE. Those are the metric ones. These only go up to 5/16, and I think I need 2 or 3 3/8. I'm not sure. If I don't, that's fine. I'll have some for another project. So when I get that drilled and tapped out, I'm going to start putting set screws in here. God dang it, I need to get some Loctite. I want to Loctite those set screws in there. And what did I do with that? Yeah, leave it on the, yeah, no? Oh, here it is. I need to cut a keyway in here on the outside of this, so it matches up with that. That's a 3/8 inch keyway, but I can't go 3/8, you know what I mean? I can't go towards 3/8 by 3/8 because this isn't thick enough. But I'm going to try to cut something in there for somewhat of a keyway, and I'll probably have to shave the key down so it fits in there. But I need to do that also before we can slide the whole drive sheave on there. And so anyway, all right, I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay, friends and neighbors, you haven't missed anything. I had to run to town and get some new drill bits. I drilled and tapped that to a 5/16 set screw, so now we can put 2 set screws back in there. This washer spacer thing, it was bent all to blazes, so I just laid it on the anvil and tapped it with a little tinner's hammer. Is all that happened there. So let me put you up here and get you lined back up. There's nothing to assembling this. I forgot to mention in my last video, there we go, that kit to rebuild this from Bobcat. I come to wonder if that kit doesn't go to like the drive sheaves on like a 610 Bobcat. Because I watched a video guy rebuilding one of them. His is somewhat different. His has all the snap rings and a little plastic timey thing that you have to keep in time and all that shit in there. So I think that's what the deal was with that. So we're going to carry on here. I put a little bit of Loctite on the set screws on these 2 deals here to keep them tight. Now there's an arrow. These are balanced or matched, whatever. So there's an arrow here, and that has to coincide. There's 2 little hash marks where somebody had already had it apart, and they put 2 little hash marks in there because it's drilled for balancing and what have you. So we're just going to line this back up. What am I hitting? There we go. That goes on there like that. And this cup here that's all beat to the devil goes on there. Like so. I should, let's see, is that the same size bolt? Let's try to pull that up. Ooh. I'm not going to do it that way. Let's take and see if we can get in there with something and push that. That's not long enough. Ugh. There we go. You got to keep grease in here. I should have cleaned some of that old crap out of there to keep this from wearing. That just goes on there like that. And that square washer or spacer, whatever you want to call it. And then here's the nut that goes on. Like so. And that cylinder, it's actually out more than it should be, or whatever would be. There, it's back in there. But you just crank that down nice and tight, which I'm not going to do right now. And I need to find an O-ring, the proper O-ring, that goes on here. And that is bent, probably from, so this little dude is going to, it's going to wobble when it swivels because that little stem is bent in there. There you go. I'm not going to tighten it down because I got to take it back out to, when I find an O-ring, and put in there. And then your hydraulic hose screws right into that. So when you put the hydraulic pressure to it, it closes these sheaves up on the belt, makes your belt ride higher, which in turn makes it go faster. When you push the lever forward for slow, I'm not going to be able to do it, but there we go. When you push it for slow, it opens the sheaves up like that. Your belt drops down inside here, which in turn makes your machine go slower. So that's that. If you want to follow along with putting this Predator in there in the Bobcat, why, tune back in for the next episode. We have some fitting to do and everything yet. Like I said earlier, this right here is just a spacer that goes in. It's keyed on the inside but not the outside. I need to clean that up. That's somebody's been pounding on it. It's got a ridge bead on there, but it goes in there like that. And then if you have the original Onan, it goes right on the end of that shaft. But being we're changing engines, this one is going inside, and then the crankshaft right there. So with that, friends and neighbors, it's Memorial Weekend. We got people coming, family. We're gonna have a little cookout and get together. So I'm gonna leave this off here, and remember what Memorial Weekend is for. So celebrate that. Celebrate for them. Happy trails.